And as always, before we start, we would like to give one of our patron shout-outs. Today's patron shout-out goes to Maria V. Thank you very much for supporting us over on, I was going to say on Twitter, or maybe you support us on Twitter, but thank you for supporting us on Patreon.
Jesus.
Listen, I just got out of a taxi that was really annoying, okay? So my eyes are everywhere. But I'm going to say a huge thank you to you for supporting us all the while. It means truthfully a lot to us, and we hope you enjoy this homoerotic episode.
Welcome to the Horror Hour.
We
all go a little mad.
get you.
Hello and welcome back to the Horror Hour, the place where we discuss, debate, and disagree on all things horror. I'm one of your hosts, George, and today I'm joined by my fellow co-hosts. We have Yutaka.
Hello.
And of course, we have Liam.
Hey up.
And today we're going to be talking about something that, as a group, we know nothing about as three straight men. We're going to try and weave our way through, I think, like they're called fans of Lady Gaga, homoerotic horror. Thank you. Did you get that reference, Liam? Thank you. I appreciate it. So yes, today we are going to be talking about homoerotic horror. Now that gives us a lot of leeway for various places to go, whether it is just fully homosexual, whether it's hints of it, or whether it's something that we kind of think, do you know what? They might not even meant that, but it definitely felt that way. So let's just go around. Let's see what people have got. Let's see what the vibes are. And let's start with Liam. Why not? Go for it.
So I think I will start as far back as I can possibly think for a film with queer intent. Well, not intent, probably is intent, but coded because of the times.
Mm-hmm. So back when I was born.
Yes. So this is from like your teens. And it is The Bride of Frankenstein. Because as we're all aware, The Bride of Frankenstein is quite a queer subtext movie. Obviously, you've got Dr. Frankenstein in his mentor, all being all. And then obviously you also have the extra bonus of the titular Bride of Frankenstein clearly being a lesbian. But obviously, because of the times, she wasn't a lesbian. She was just deeply afraid of a monster. What was that monster? It was a vagina. So, yeah, I think going back, it's not really homoerotic. It's just very queer coded.
Yeah.
So I thought it would be a good one to shout out, especially considering it came from a gay director as well.
This is true.
Mm-hmm. It's funny because I don't always forget, but I think it's always nice to be reminded about how, because we always joke about the whole, gay people never bury a gay trope and all that, but the amount of gay or LGBTQ plus people that have worked behind the scenes of horror in general to make it what it is today, I think just deserves applause as it is. And even from the beginning, like you say, it's always
created horror.
Yeah, exactly, literally, because our life was horror. So we needed something to. Nobody was killed.
And over your head. Okay. Yeah.
So I agree. That's a good one. That's really far back. Mine aren't that far back.
I was like, what can Yutaka remember? Because he can't remember yesterday, but he can remember when he was in his 20s.
It's the short-term memory, guys. It's gone. It's so gone.
Well, hopefully, Yutaka, you remember what your first pick is for this, because it's over to you.
So I chose something that was, it's not... Okay. Do you all remember back when like direct to I can hear my dogs barking, I apologize. Direct to video was like a bad thing, right?
Yeah.
And so there used to be these this series. It is it started in 2001, and I think it's had like God, maybe 6 or 7 actual films in it, and it's called The Brotherhood.
I didn't know.
And these were okay. These are they're just so bad. Let me give you the synopsis for the very first one, and it's the fraternity House of Tau Omega has found a key to eternal youth without having to become blood-drinking vampires. Will they be able to recruit Chris, an innocent and perfect newcomer? Now, here's why it gets the whole, like kind of queer thing. Almost every entry in this, it has just all of these hard-bodied men in their briefs, like trying to summon stuff or just sitting around. Like, it's very homoerotic, and obviously it wasn't meant to be, but then when you look at the covers, you're like, oh, you know who they're playing for, because hey, well, somebody will rent this, us young gay teens. And like, they're not good by any means. I mean, the best thing to say is just go like IMDb them just to see the covers, because it's hilarious. But they are awful films, and because there's just no plot, it's just purposely meant so you can see all these men half naked.
So it's just eye candy, the movie.
Yeah, there's like some deaths, not really elaborate. Again, no plot. I don't really remember names. I only just now remember the name Chris because that's what I read off.
So, yeah. But you remember the bodies.
I just remember like it felt like every several months.
Them very well.
No. Every like several months, it felt like a new one would come out. I mean, these were like just constantly being churned out. Like the do you guys remember the Eating Out movies?
I remember. I never watched them.
And how often like those were being churned out?
Yeah.
That's the same with this. That's like, so they would always just get, I mean, sorry to who's ever in these people who could not act. They couldn't even be day players, but here they are in this movie because, they look pretty.
Might not be able to act, but they went to the gym, so it's fine. Put them on screen.
That's pretty much.
Put a pair of tight pants on them, it'll be fine.
So I remember like working at the video store, and every time a new one would come out, I'm like, Jesus, I gotta put this on the new release wall. Ugh, stop making these. But then, when you're working there, be like, who's gonna rent it?
Keeping an eye out like that.
Mm-hmm.
Standing way too close for too long.
And then Yutaka knew who to slip his number into the cassette.
Absolutely not.
Like, did people ever do that?
No. I know people had returned home movies. So that was always interesting.
On purpose? Or like just by mistake?
No, because it was always awkward when they would come back and they would have to ask for it back. Because we're like, we're not keeping this. We really want our movie back because we can't rent this. And it was just always humorous. We're like, so we may have like, oh yeah, okay, thank you. I would always feel bad. I'm like, that would be embarrassing.
Damn. Now it's digital footprints everywhere. You couldn't give it back.
Yeah. Oh, I would try and make sure, like, I'd be like, yeah, that scene. When handing it back over.
Can I just say, can I just ask, where did you get that wallpaper from? Because honestly, that was absolutely...
No, I mean, that was always, I felt so bad for people anytime that would happen.
Say, this is why we're not nice people.
No, definitely not. Okay,
the brotherhood. Like, oh, them poor people, me and George, just tell them about the wallpaper, make them really squirm.
Yeah. Something that, but like it'd be like so like not trying to avoid the fact that I'd seen it, like trying to ignore the content of it and be like, did the bedspread? Do they do them in like several colors or
awful? But karma will come and get you. Maybe not Liam, but definitely for George.
Karma comes every day knocking at my door, and I just have to keep trying to like Liam.
Karma's done enough to him.
This hairline.
Look at him.
Look exactly.
That cunt looks like he's got a face half squished by a mango. No. Got the face of a half sucked mango, that's it.
Speaking of sucking, let's move on to my first pick. Now, this film I rewatched recently. And when I mean recently, I mean last October, which is recent for me. And that is, we're going back in time because George has seen one or two films before 1996, and that is Fright Night, the original.
Damn, I had that.
Oh, sorry. Because those men were having wild, crazy sexual intercourse when that door shut, and I do not care what anybody says. Jerry and Billy were having a fabulous time. And so I was so confused when they were like, when Jerry wanted Amy, and I was like, why? You're obviously in love with this gentleman. Like, and well, hey, he could have been bisexual, I suppose. And well, maybe he was. Yeah, he could be bisexual. But Billy
we will have no bi erasure on this channel.
I apologize. Exactly, Twilight. But Billy was obviously in love with Jerry, and he fought so hard for him that he ended up turning into like just some mushy zombie-ified thing just to like help him out. Yeah, I forgot. I'd watched it a long time ago, so when I rewatched it, I kind of forgot how homoerotic elements of it are. I don't know if they're not severe, but I think like there are definitely
there though.
There's some parts where I'm like, okay, we need to talk. And it was just nice to have those moments away from probably one of the most annoying characters in a film I've ever seen, and that's Evil Ed, who that's one of the reasons I remember not wanting to watch the film again, was because he annoyed me so much with that ridiculous, stupid laugh that it was just hard for me to go back to. But yes, on terms of homoerotic, I think this one definitely. And they had a great house as well. The gays always know interior decor. That window up the stairs.
I mean,
stained glass.
Should you judge?
The fireplace with the carpet, right? I mean, that's a fire hazard. But
God, where you were going with that, Liam?
I'm going to do a house up that I don't own. That's ridiculous. What a waste of money that would be. Anyway, yes, Fright Night, 1986, 5, 4.
I don't know.
A time,
85.
a place,
sometime during the 80s.
Period.
But also, I wanted to like add to the fact, and I don't, obviously something else might come up later from somebody, not from me, but it might come from one of you guys. But just you mentioned the Brotherhood being about vampires. There seems to be I feel, a long list of movies that include vampires and homoerotic tendencies. But we shall see if we see more of them today.
I think a lot of like even like the Lost Boys had like that. If you've ever seen that
poster of the guy when he on the back of the door.
I'm just saying, like, the 80s had some real good films back in the day that had the had that subtext.
And
they did.
They went for, like, I feel like we don't get that now. Like 80s were like, we're gonna give you, men with short shorts, crop tops and abs.
But that's because that was the fashion at the time. That is something that that's now become synonymous with gay culture. But in the 80s, it wasn't gay culture. That was
just fashion.
That was just fashion for men.
Yeah.
So now we look back at it and go, gay. But not really. At the time, it wasn't gay. It was just
normal.
Let's put them in these fashionable clothing.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously now, short shorts and crop top has been very much supplanted in the twink's mind as something that's acceptable to wear.
Yeah, more recently on TikTok, like people are like, let's bring back the crop top. I'm like,
yeah, I know. We've sadly seen.
Oh,
because someone tried to pull off the crop top.
Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah.
I'll admit that was me. I tried it. It didn't work for everybody, but I had a good time. So
yes, you sure did.
And I didn't care what anybody
said. Sometimes it's okay for you to have a good time yourself, but you shouldn't have to punish the rest of us.
Okay, fine, whatever. enough
A
about
crop
me.
top doesn't even look good on a skinny person. I don't understand why we need to make this to be a thing. Crop tops look good on no one. No one pulls off a crop top. Like,
Well, I think Lady Gaga did in Perfect Illusion, but with that under boob.
It is nice when some women do. Like, I think
I think
Tiana
women,
Taylor,
yeah,
but
I think
men,
men.
But I think that's the difference between the boobs.
Yeah.
Because I think
some men
if
can
women
pull it
wear
off.
like
I just don't think George did.
No, I don't think any man can. I think they look like tits. But good for them for breaking out of their comfort zone. Just chuck a harness on. It's fine.
Okay. Well, speaking of tits, Liam, what's your
I'll stick with the theme of the event. Now we'll go with 1994's Interview with a Vampire.
Mm-hmm.
Because even though one of the actors, we don't know who, refused to have the underlying the gay stuff in there. The gay stuff was clearly still in there. But obviously it was going to be gay. But then one of the actors refused. I wonder which religious person did that. I'm saying that, but apparently it wasn't even that religious person.
Well, we definitely know who it wasn't because he was probably fighting to have that scene in just so he could go, oh no, it's part of the film. I'm not really like that. But can I ask real quick before you talk about this one? Because I haven't seen it. In the new Interview with the Vampire, is that more homoerotic than the film?
There is a full on. There is a full on floating sex scene.
Right, damn. Okay.
That doesn't make the show good though.
It ended on a better note though, Liam. I'll say that. It's just
I couldn't make it that far. Yeah. I couldn't make it that far.
Some of it was just.
I finished after 2 episodes and I was like, I'm good.
Yeah, he loves Mayfair Witches, and I'm like, that's a bore.
Oh, really? You didn't like that?
Yeah.
No.
Each to their own. But sorry, Liam, go on. Interview with the Vampire.
Yes. So apparently it was Antonio Banderas that had the gay stuff removed.
You know,
allegedly.
I think now if we look at what's going on in the Golden Globes, it's probably Brad Pitt. Because, honey, that PR woman was fighting for Brad Pitt to have good PR in that Golden Globes when everyone was like, hi, Brad Pitt. Oh, Brad Pitt's here. Hi. I was like, why are we all mentioning Brad Pitt? He hasn't done a decent film in like 10 years. Let's calm down.
No, apparently Brad Pitt was very up for it. And it was in the script when Brad Pitt signed onto it. Okay. Apparently it was another person.
He's up for adultery. Why not something else?
Well, exactly. Obviously, that is all alleged. It is all Hollywood rumor and gossip. Who knows what actually happened? Maybe Tom Cruise couldn't wear his gimp mask, so he decided he didn't want to do it. You just don't know these things. But yeah, even without the overt sexual nature of the books being brought to the forefront, it was still highly sexualized between Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise. Like every scene that they're together, it's just like sizzling sexual tension. So yeah, super gay, real gay, like Liberace gay, especially with them coats.
I remember being terrified of that film when I was younger. I remember watching it when I was really young, probably like 7.
I'm impressed you watched it.
Yeah, I watched it when I was probably like 7 or 8, and I just remember being terrified of, and I can't remember who it is now. Is it one of the vampires I'm watching? Well, who is dancing around the room with the dead body of the mother? And I just remember, and she's like a dead doll, and he's like,
Tom Cruise.
Is it Tom Cruise? And he's like, look, and I just remember being like, oh my god, like she looked like grey and she was just like lifeless, and that just terrified the hell out of me for some reason.
She was.
Really? But yeah, it's been a while since I've seen that film. I just love it. I wish we got some more new. There has been quite a few I'd like a new proper renaissance of vampire movies. We've had a few dribbled across the last couple of years, but I'd kind of suppose everything goes in. It's like,
I mean, you had the one with Luke Evans that was supposed to kick off a monsters universe, though. And I thought it wasn't bad, but it just didn't do what they were expecting, because I believe also like that was going to be also with like Tom Cruise's The Mummy. Yeah, and it just didn't, failed to take off, because do you remember, was it Vanity Fair or Hollywood Reporter that had that whole like spread, and it had like
all the people sitting down,
like in the Angelina Jolie was going to be Bride of Frankenstein.
Who's Johnny Depp was going to be the Invisible Man.
And then Russell Crowe was still going to be
Russell Crowe's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
I liked his Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde though, in The Mummy, in that version.
Yeah.
I was kind of bummed we didn't get to see more of
that
him.
Mummy film did have a few issues.
Yeah.
I don't think it wasn't salvageable though. It was a bit ridiculous that they turned Tom Cruise into the Mummy though.
Yeah, that's what was. I'm like, oh, okay. But so that was supposed to kick off though a huge universe, and who knows, maybe we'll get some. I'm sure we're gonna get more vampire films.
Yeah,
because I mean, how perfect would that have been though? Because obviously it was Bill Condon, who was going to be doing Bride of Frankenstein, and that would have just been perfect.
Yeah,
especially because like he's obviously such a fan of James Whale, considering he was the one that directed Gods and Monsters.
Yeah, great film.
Yeah, so that would have been such a fun full circle moment, but yeah, never mind. Shit happens.
Never mind. Onwards and upwards. Speaking of Yutaka, what's your next one?
So I went with one that was more very recent. And well, there's a queer actor in it. However, it's more the fact that the gays have latched on to this movie. And I mean, as soon as that little robot lady, no, we know, Megan, came out dancing, we all lost our proverbial minds or whatnot. Like we were just. But to be fair, though, Megan's actually very well written. It's really funny. And I'm sorry because I don't think.
Have you still not seen it, Liam?
No, so I won't go to like. But I will say that
because I was supposed to go, and then I ended up bedbound for 3 days. Well, I was bedbound. I ended up ill, off sick from so.
Yeah. So Megan though kind of became like a huge phenomenon. Like the gays just again. Prop that film up. They supported that more than they supported Bros, and good on them for that.
It's what it was deserved.
Yes,
it is. And Megan 2.0 already in the works.
It's still made a lot of money on such a minuscule budget. So I think, and that's what Blumhouse is known for, honestly.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, I mean. Yeah. But no, the actor who was also in it ended up being in the final season of Will and Grace and was Jack's husband. If any of you have watched it, but he was one of the he was the male, well, obviously male, but he was the only guy on the team.
Oh, George. So I know
not
him.
Ronnie Chang, but him.
Yeah. I know him from TikTok. He does these hilarious skits on TikTok where he plays like a southern ant, and he did one with Reese Witherspoon. And so I didn't know him. I just thought he was like a TikToker. So when I saw him in that trailer, I was like, what is he doing?
No, he's a working actor. Yeah, he's a working actor.
The one who did, he was from Espanol.
Yeah. And he does like the one with the...
Yeah,
he does like these TikToks of like the gay man with like he puts like these, he does like a filter where it's like dead facially, obviously like he's had loads of work done, and he's like, oh my god, I don't know what's going on. So, but he was good in that film. I enjoyed him. I thought he was
I've seen him on YouTube do stuff.
Yeah,
isn't he the one that did
and he's gay.
Absolutely fucking hilarious video of the gay
people in the back car, or that one too. Oh my god, I love that one. That's funny. Yes.
Yeah.
He's great. But... And Megan's great too. Yeah, try and go and see it this week, Liam.
The aim is for Tuesday or Wednesday.
There we go. We look forward to hearing his thoughts on that in due course. Okay then. So my next one, I'm gonna go with the lesbians this time. and that's Black Swan.
Ooh.
Because Black Swan was such a great film.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. And I know there's like some people don't like it, and that's fair. But I remember trying to like convince my parents that it was a horror film, and they were just like, it's just a film about lesbians. Lesbians.
That sounds like
dancing.
something your parents would say. That checks. Yeah, that checks.
But I know that like
common lesbians at that.
I know. No, ballet actually, ballet is quite seen as quite, you know, a prestigious career in the UK. But yeah, so probably in the world, but I really love that film. I thought it was great. And I think it has such a great cast. I enjoyed Natalie Portman in that. I know sometimes she gets a lot of like hate. I feel like I see a lot of hate on the internet for no reason. I think it's all to do with Star Wars.
Yeah.
But I thought she was really well. I see it. Maybe I'm from the wrong people.
I see quite a lot of hate, but it is usually when it comes to people discussing either Star Wars or Thor.
I feel like someone we know hates them as well. But anyway, I say that when the camera's off. Yeah, does he? No, okay. I for some reason
if you want to talk
about it quite.
Yeah, no, I would say, let me put it this way. I totally get Black Swan. I think it's a great film.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was certainly ripped off, it's very humorous because when the film came out and when I saw the film, I was like, I've seen this film before.
Yeah. Whereas thankfully I hadn't, so I enjoyed it. But it probably does rip something off. But it was nice to see lesbians, you know,
I'll explain.
Yeah, there's another film that's basically the same. Indulging in time together. A lot of that. I was actually surprised at how
and
much.
Some body horror too.
Yeah. Oh, that I remember.
Yeah. Like the nail part.
Yeah. I just thought it was really good because I think at that point in my life I hadn't really seen. That was probably because what was it, 2010 or even earlier maybe. I don't think I've watched that many like real psychological horror movies. I'd kind of like watched a lot of like just blood and gore slasher type. So I was kind of like, whoa, this is like really quite not off-putting, but had like a real eeriness about it. But I really
I had to explain that film to a lot of people.
Yeah. But I really enjoyed it, and I thought Mila Kunis again. Before she ruined her career by going and playing the Wicked Witch of the West in the which she was absolutely abhorrent in. She did a great job in Black Swan. So yeah, she was so awful in Oz. It's embarrassing.
She
was so terrible. Bad. But hey, do you know what? Sometimes you take jobs for the money, and Michelle Williams wasn't good at either. So, I mean, Rachel Weisz was carrying that movie like I don't know.
Oh, so hard. Like
he's like, I'm trying. I'm really trying. Bless her.
Poor Rachel.
I know. But so anyway, yeah, Black Swan for me. You guys, are you both well, evidently Yutaka's not a fan.
I'm a fan.
No, I do think it's a great film. I think the performances are wonderful. It's very like almost incredibly similar to a Japanese animation that came out at least 10 years before. Okay. And then when the director was confronted about it, he's like, no, I didn't. And then later it's like, okay, maybe I may have, like, he pretended like he never even heard of it. And this film is very well recognized and highly regarded. And it was just really funny because if you were to see it, it is literally almost the same premise. It's just crazy. So for me, I was like, oh, come on, at least.
So are you saying Black Swan is also like The Lion King?
In the words of Madonna, it's redundant. Look it up.
I still loved Black Swan. I'm just saying.
I just
thought it was very.
Was it Kimber the White Lion? Kimbo?
Really? I know
what you're talking about now. Yes. Yeah. No,
yeah.
That was definitely No. It was one of those scenarios, yes.
Those big bloody production companies and houses just ripping off everything. Okay. But yeah, I enjoyed Black Swan. When I was younger, I really fancied the dance teacher in it.
Vincent Castle.
Yeah, I know that he's like dating somebody who's like 12, but
Is he?
No, she's not 12,
Oh.
but she's like there's a big age gap between them.
Jesus.
Allegedly. No, but there is a big an age gap between them, isn't there? I'm sure she's like late
You're-
20s. I don't know.
Is he?
Anyway, I'm
not
sure.
called Castle, is he?
Yeah, Vincent Castle.
Yeah.
I'm saying it. I'm probably not
Castle
pronouncing it.
in the
It's
sky,
Cassiel or, but no, he is
Oh, Cassell.
Cassell.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yes.
Yeah. But anyway, I had a blast with that film, and I haven't watched it in a while. But somebody who did reaction to it recently.
Chew did.
Yes, that, and it made me. And I was like, oh, I forgot how much I really enjoyed this film. He was. I mean, his reactions are always amazing. He did the Mummy yesterday. Oh my god. Let me tell you, his Mummy reaction was iconic. Go and check it out. Anyway, sorry. So yeah, Black Swan for me. Liam,
No,
what about you?
I also had an obsession with Vincent Cassell, but that was from he did a black and white film called Lahane in the early 2000s. Oh my god, so good.
He's an irreversible.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna hop back onto your train again. Just because this is how it was written. For my next one. Because I also have lesbians.
Oh, okay.
Well, nah, it's not lesbian. Jennifer's
Ally.
body. Speak, Valentina. Yeah. I mean, come on. How can you talk about homoerotic and not bring up Jennifer's body? Like, even though she's like killing all the boys and then wants to fuck a man to say freed. Like, that is just lesbian rights. All of the lesbian rights. I remember a time being like really excited for this because obviously it was not long after Diablo Cody had wrote Juno.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, why is everyone hating on it when it came out? Then I went to see it and I was just this is great. Why is everyone hating? Like, I don't understand all this. Like, what's happening? And then obviously you realize it's the way the world works. Anything that's overtly pushed into a certain way isn't going to get the love it deserves at the time, and it will be respectively enjoyed, but it won't be enjoyed at the time.
It's a great film.
Shit happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's such a good film across the board. Like, we've discussed it enough. I just couldn't not bring it up on this episode since the theming is this. But yeah, across the board, amazing writing, amazing acting. So clever in some of the things that happens. The writing, the jokes. I love it. Yeah.
It is. That
was my next one.
Cult classic. Okay. Yutaka?
Yes.
Wow, I'm going to do the same thing and kind of piggyback on Liam, but only because also the director of Jennifer's Body is Karen Kusama.
Mm-hmm.
And she directed another film that I absolutely love. It's horror thriller called The Invitation.
Yes.
And this film, I should look and see when it came out. Because I don't think it's on. It came out in 2015. Okay. And it is basically this man accepts an invitation to a dinner party hosted by his ex-wife. And then, soon throughout this entire dinner party, like secrets become, are brought to the light, and it just has this crazy tension. It's a slow burn to one of the most. The endings it explodes. Like once the needle drops, it is nonstop. And then it has an ending that you're just like, oh, fuck. But the reason why is I did, at the time, I didn't know going into it. I just think it was on Netflix. I'm like, I've never seen this. I'll watch it. Well, at the dinner party, there's also a gay couple. And the only reason that actually stuck out to me, though, is because the actor in it was also in Law and Order SVU as a side character and had been for like 5-6 years. I know, right? Who then that's why I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, I know who that is. I was like, oh, that's so cool. I think the actor's name's Mike Doyle, and he was just in Amsterdam, that series, and he also played a gay couple. So it was very it was like, oh wow. And obviously, maybe one half of the couple might have died. spoiler, sorry. But one lived. Hey, I mean,
we love that.
Slight improvement.
Honestly,
very half you go.
When you see it though, it's such a good the dialogue and just the eeriness, and oh my gosh, it's a really good film, and it's got Logan Marshall Green, and he's a stud.
Yes, I do like Logan Marshall Green.
Mm-hmm.
I liked him in that Devil one as well.
Oh, that was a good film.
In The Lift.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I do like that film. It's nice and short, that film.
Yeah, I do remember shitting myself watching it in the cinema though.
Remember, everyone was so terrified when that film came out. They're like, "This is the scariest film to ever come out," and I was like, "Is it?"
People say that about Skinamarink.
I know. I'm looking forward to watching this film because I want to see if you're correct or if everyone else is correct, because you're the only person that I know.
I've even had non-horror people be like, "What is this Skinamarink?"
Hold up. George, you say that. I do have to film the review today, but I don't think you watch a lot of reviewers. Do you?
What? No, but on Twitter.
Oh, okay. Then you're clearly only. Well, I guess we only see what we're catered to in a sense.
Especially
but
now, it's you thing. I'm like, it's all over the place. Like, every other tweet's like.
Oh well, You're the only one who pays for Twitter Blue in this group, so I wouldn't know.
I don't anymore.
No, I've got that as well. that is for
how
everyone.
The tables turned.
No, he's got for you.
No,
he hasn't got
gotcha.
The for you
anyway.
thing.
Yeah, no, to not completely go down another path. There are a lot of critics. It's very divisive in terms of you either have people who really, really like it, or you have people who really, really dislike it. Yeah. Very few are in the middle on it. So, but I have to hand it to it because it's also from a queer individual. And so I do want to support that, but you'll see my thoughts later. And I'm going to still be polite about it.
I look forward to seeing it. Okay, then. Oh my God.
Well, we've only got a few more minutes before we record our next episode with some special guests. So why don't we kind of...
The speed round.
Yes.
Because I know this one's going to be quick, and I had to... it wouldn't be very good of me if I didn't mention this film. And it is Scream, because obviously...
Of course.
Billy Loomis.
I was going to purposefully make it my first one.
I knew you were going to.
You should have.
I know.
I was like, no, he's been a very well-behaved boy recently. He hasn't mentioned Scream.
This is very true.
Scream.
He's been good about that.
But I'm doing it quick. I mean, what a rat-looking homo-oppressed mama's boy is one of the most iconic lines of Scream 2. Everybody knows it. Matthew Lillard literally said it like last year when they were at a Comic-Con. He was like, and Stu's super gay. Like, obviously, he was with one of the hottest girls in school. She had great tits. That's a gay guy. He did that hair for her. He definitely sewed that jumper for her. He was doing everything. And Billy just had to spread his seed just to get it out there. But we know that he was sowing those seeds in one place, and that was behind Stu Macher.
Okay.
And so that's my quick fire one. Liam?
Yeah. Quick fire. Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge. Come on. There was a scene in a gay bar. Fuck me.
And and then Mark Patton, who is openly queer, and I hope and also since he did bring that up, I just hope I'm sending him all the best wishes. He's been keeping people updated, but he's not doing too well, which is sad. It's got some health stuff. So, which stinks because Swallowed is actually finally getting a release date.
Yeah, I keep seeing the post everywhere. It's so cool.
And so he can't it just stinks because I'm sure they were going to do maybe some premiere, more, releases, but Swallowed would be another one. But if I have to pick one that is, I remember seeing this in theaters. It's still pretty recent. And I remember laughing because I'm like, this is so homoerotic. And that's Alien Covenant.
Yes.
when David meets himself, and the way like he was teaching him how to play the flute, I was like, you've got to be kidding me. That scene was just, I was cackling and it was cringe all at the same time. I was like, oh my God, this is too much.
Anything
I still enjoyed that movie though, regardless.
Yeah, I mean, The Covenant, 2000. Yeah. 2006, that was homoerotic. But yeah, Alien.
I was thinking of that too with Sebastian Stan.
Yeah.
Chase Crawford.
The Brotherhood walked so the Covenant could run.
I was going to say,
Covenant was literally
when you were explaining it, it reminded me very similar of that. So that's probably what they were inspired by. I haven't seen that film in ages. Okay, damn. Well, hey, I think we had a good overall list there. Some definite varied ones throughout some that are very much homoerotic, some that just have an essence of it. But obviously, we want to hear from you as well. So do let us know in the comments below some of the most homoerotic films that you think of, ones that you think are absolutely made that way, that were unintentional, intentional, or they just seem a bit. So let us know in the comments below. And as always, if you would like to see more of us, you can head over to our Patreon, patreon.com/thehorrorhourtv. We have lots of early access. You get to vote in polls for what we talk about. We have our live streams, and we also have a live stream where we'll be live watching a film with you guys, which we're super excited to do. This month is Scary Movie 2. So we're looking forward to that as well. And yeah, just follow us the socials at the Horror TV on Instagram and Twitter. And if we don't see you soon, we'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.
You have been listening to the Horror Hour. See you next time.